we first drove up to this property, we weren't sure what to think. The house was in disrepair, clearly in the midst of some remodeling. There were junk piles, multiple vehicles, and the house just wasn't much to look at. However, once we walked around back, we saw that the view of the Yellowstone Valley and the Yellowstone River was so amazing, we instantly knew. This was it. Here are some before images of all the rooms in the house. While you can see that a lot was finished, a lot was not. And what was finished needed to be changed or updated. The upstairs bedrooms and bath were pretty nice, but the tub was not functioning, and it seemed the place had not been cleaned for some time. As you can see, a lot of the house was in the middle of a remodel or simply just left in disrepair. The main floor had a small, dingy bathroom, while the second story had a pretty fancy-looking bathroom. It too would turn out to need a lot of work. What looked like a small house on the outside turned out to be a pretty good-sized 3-floor home. There was the main floor, the unfinished basement, and 3 bedrooms upstairs. After purchasing the property, Dave quickly got to work. We started gutting the attached garage to make it into our main floor master bedroom. There was a beautiful unattached garage previously built, so we agreed as we age out in this home, we didn't want to have to climb stairs into bed. Dave had phenomenal ideas for this bedroom, with windows facing north and east. Together, we began to put together the biggest bedroom I could ever dream of. We then worked on making the small dingy bathroom on the main floor our master bath. We made more room by taking out an unnecessary closet for the room next door to give space to my vanity. We had a wonderful plumber who helped on some occasions, but Dave did the brunt of the plumbing this bathroom. While working on the main floor bathroom, we also worked on the second story bathroom. The beautiful jacuzzi tub that was in there didn't work and had to be torn out. It had a remarkable amount of concrete beneath it that was so much work to get out. However, we got it done and put in a regular tub that just needs hot water to enjoy without all the fancy jets that can break. While we worked on the bathrooms, the girls got to work picking out which rooms would be theirs and the colors they wanted to repaint the walls. We thought the original paint a little too dark, so the girls picked out brighter shades to lighten everything up. We then moved on to the main floor, working on the kitchen, office, and dining room. Dave and I together have a lot of family, and we love to host, so we knew we'd need more room in this house. Dave quickly got to work on tearing out the old deck on the south side of the house, where the beautiful view is, so we could build an addition that would become our living room. We would need the original living room to become the dining room, and would build a big enough sitting area for after meals. We decided to put in a crawl space and root cellar beneath the new addition, and so the wall pouring began. Once the walls were set, we were able to put in the floors and begin framing the walls. We also made sure to build a wider, less steep staircase to the basement. We kept the original stairs as an alternate option to the basement. However, we could use these new stairs when bringing down heavy loads of wood for our gorgeous wood stove. Of course, we put a door at the top of the stairs to the outside to be able to drive right up with our loads. Dave chose to put very large windows to the east, south, and west, as no matter where we sat in the living room, we would have an awesome view. Dave decided to dig out a pond and put up stabilizing walls for it. In the summer, the kids all swim in there, and we jump in to cool off on a hot day of working hard outside. During all this, we knew we needed lots of sidewalk and some curbing around the house and to the garage. We framed and set up all the sidewalks, which were able to all be poured in one day. Of course, the house needed to be re-sided. This was one of the worst jobs because tearing off the siding was hard enough, but underneath the siding was beaver board. It came off in small chunks and took hours to pull off. Even with help, this part of the remodel took a very long and arduous time. Dave also built a beautiful deck facing west just outside the addition. As the addition was getting finished, we were able to begin to take real pleasure in the home we were working so hard for. The dream we'd imagined was coming to fruition. Because we were not building a second story to the addition, we decided to make a big deck where we could be up high and look out onto the valley. The inside and outside of this house were really coming together. Next came the landscaping. We have a lot of land and we wanted to make it pretty. Dave did tons of work clearing junk piles, tearing down old sheds, and clearing out crap of this 8.5 acres of land. He brought in new dirt and spread it out to be ready for grass. For 2 days as a family, we all spread out grass clippings and grass seed for many hours by hand over about 10,000 square feet. Also, we decided to have a couple of rock beds, so we brought in a load or river rock and filled it in one wheelbarrow at a time. The clean look of a good rock bed was sure worth the effort. We began then to furnish the house. Dave built by hand our large dining table for bigger gatherings, the family dining table for family dinners, a 2-top table for the living room, and multiple end tables. We got an enormous couch, which turns out was necessary during large gatherings. Finally, the big stuff was done, and we could relax and enjoy evenings on the deck looking out over the beautiful land we now call home. Watch and enjoy now the finished product.